to draw attention once again to the parlous state of Piccadilly Road in my electorate, which really stands out as the key example of the neglect of the hills under the current regime. And I say that because that now involves the failure to act by successive ministers for infrastructure and transport in this state. I've been drawing a highlight to it in my community, and I've been asked by those who have engaged in the debate, well, have I been raising it year after year after year? And the fact is, yes, I have. Going back to 2022, the then Minister for Infrastructure and Transport advised me in August of that year that the government had started to do some work, some Piccadilly Road stabilisation surface works, and conceded that they'd not been performing well and that several sections had stripped off, exposing the pavement. Told me that the department had scheduled repairs to affected sections which were suffering from that defect. That's mid-2022. And on each year subsequent, I've raised it to the Minister and repeatedly now in the Parliament. The Minister, as he then was, advised me further that Piccadilly Road, by 2024, conceding Piccadilly Road will require pavement renewal works and any potholes required to be made safe as they are found. Well, my constituents are certainly finding those potholes, and they're finding them in circumstances where they're driving along on a road that they ought to expect to be able to get from A to B on, between Crafers and Summertown, and we've had repeated examples of wheels into potholes, blown tyre, broken wheel, and damage that my constituents can ill afford. And so it's not surprising to me that I've seen now intensifying response from my community to the parlous state, the crumbling state, the deteriorated and dilapidated state of Piccadilly Road. So it's not only me raising it in this place and by correspondence to successive ministers. Here's some of the feedback that my constituents have provided. Brian says, some weeks ago a contractor commenced upgrade works on Piccadilly Road. They broke up the road service and they applied spray seal. This has been spectacularly unsuccessful. That's in June 2022. We go forward to August 2025. Piccadilly Road, says George, is continuing to deteriorate due to the volume of traffic, including heavy vehicles. Piccadilly Road lies in the state's highest rainfall area, or one of them, and the water drainage is not dealing with the volume of rain and water. And then a series of responses just in this month of August this year. Vicky says, everyone I know who uses Piccadilly Road on a daily basis like me is fed up with potholes, uneven surface and bumps that make for a very uncomfortable and dangerous drive. A month ago I damaged a rim on my wheel, hitting an unseen pothole after deluges we had. Russell says, in June this year I wrote directly to DIT repeating my request for a major upgrade and was given the same vague lip service. Fred from up in the hills, who's an Ashton resident, says that he's using the road frequently and confirms the deteriorating asphalt, potholes and deep ruts create a highly uncomfortable and unsafe commute. During wet weather, these failing surface sections become slick, significantly elevating the risk of accidents. Immediate structural repairs, not patchwork, are required to ensure the safety of all local motorists. I've been sent a picture from Matthew at Summertown of one of the dozens of potholes that make the place look completely unpassable in certain areas. Peter adds, recent rain weeks ago, dirt and gravel on the upper embankment of Piccadilly Road near Crafers Primary School washed onto the road. A driver taking her kids to school as she took the bed and slid across the road and into a tree. Morris tells me that at times, particularly when the road's wet, Their small car appears to be sometimes losing traction. He dreads the day a huge truck roaring through the curb, the opposite direction, sliding into oncoming traffic. It doesn't end there. The calls are loud and ongoing. Dramatic work needs to be done to improve Piccadilly Road.
There we go. The member for